Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Psychosin Project here on Total Metal Radio, and with me today I have got Morten Veland of excellent goth metal band Sirenia. Welcome to the show, Morten.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Now, you're about to release your new album, The Seventh Life Path, next week. Was this an easy or difficult album to write?
Yeah, good question. I think my biggest problem usually when writing albums is that I write so much material. So the hardest part is actually to choose or to pick out the best stuff, and you can end up with material for maybe 30 songs or so, just huge amounts of material. And
well, it's always better to have more than you need, isn't it? So
yeah, it's I guess it's kind of a luxury problem in a way. So yeah, it's a big task, just picking out the best and trying also to pick out the material that makes the album diverse, and that it has a little bit of everything in there is at least my intention.
Okay, excellent. Now, you released the first single from the album, Once My Life. Are there any plans to release another single in the near future from the album?
Not as far as I know. I guess that would be a decision that the record company would make in the end, but I think it'll be the only single for the album, at least as of now. It looks like that.
Okay, why did you pick that song as the single? Do you feel it's the one that represents the album the best?
Actually, I don't. But it's actually. The songs on the album are very long. They are most of them are 7-8 minutes long.
Right.
And for making a single, we actually had only two options. We could make an edited version of Once My Light, or we could use the ballad called Tragedian at the end of the album. So it was actually only two options we had for making a single. Actually, that was something that I didn't think too much about when composing songs for the album. But in the end, we ended up with Once My Light. Tragedian could be a good choice too, but I think that definitely would be a song that would represent the album even less, yeah. Because it's a ballad, and that's something that Sirenia rarely do, and it's a song, perhaps the most different song on the album. So the natural choice for us would be Once My Light as a single.
So really, with Tragedy, you'd rather leave that as a nice surprise on the album, as a different change of pace for the band, for your fans to hear.
Oh, could you repeat that one, please?
Yeah, no problem. So with Tragedy, you decide to sort of leave that as a nice surprise on the album for your fans to hear you going sort of with a different direction for a song for Sirenia.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful song to have at the end of the album there. It sums up the album or ends it in a very very calm, atmospheric, comfortable way, kind of, and it gives adds to the variation on the album. It's a really soft, calm song, and there's some very hard and heavy stuff on the album as well, and there's a lot of stuff in between, and also with us mixing in a lot of different elements in our music, as we have been doing all along since we started the band. So the thing with the variation in the music has always been a thing that has been very important for us, and we put a lot of focus on that when we put together our albums.
Excellent. Now, what influences the band's sound these days?
Yeah, I think it's more or less the same things as always in a way, but we try to to renew ourselves with every album.
Yeah.
And it's Sirenia is a metal band, but in addition to that, we will bring in a lot of elements from classical music, from choral music, gothic rock, and all kinds of different styles. And we also mix a lot of different kinds of vocals. The extreme male vocals, the growling and the screaming and that kind of stuff. And we have the female vocals, we have the choirs, and we have some clean male vocals as well, and some spoken parts and stuff like that. So yeah, we try to mix it up with a lot of different kind of things to have a lot of variation and changing a lot of atmosphere throughout the songs, and just playing a lot on that thing with the variation.
Excellent. Now, obviously you've had a few previous lead vocalists with the band in the past. Do you feel that now with Eileen at the front of the band, you finally found the perfect fit for Sirenia?
Yeah, it's true. We've been through some different singers over the years. On our first album, we used actually a session singer. We didn't even find a steady singer for the band at that point. So our second album with Henriette Borderick was actually the first album for us where we actually had a steady singer for the band.
Yeah.
And after Henriette, we had Monica Pedersen with us for one album, and after that Eileen joined the band, and this is the fourth album she's been doing with us now. So yeah, she's been with us for quite some years now, and it's definitely a good thing having a stable lineup in the band. It enables me to spend my time and my focus on the music and not on searching for new band members, because that can really be a time-demanding process that really, you can really spend a lot of time on that, and you lose focus on the music and etc. So having a steady lineup is definitely a positive thing.
Excellent. Now, how would you describe Sirenia's sound yourself?
As I mentioned a bit earlier, it has always been important for us with the variation to mix in a lot of different kinds of elements in our music, and trying to create dynamic songs with everything from just really quiet parts to really aggressive, heavy parts as well, and the atmosphere in the music has always been an important thing. We try to create really atmospheric songs, and switching from different kinds of atmospheres, and it's important for us that when people listen to our music that they will get a lot of emotions triggered or something. This is at least what we try to do, and it's important for me as a composer, and it's also what I'm looking for when I'm listening to music.
Excellent. Now, for people who haven't seen you live yet, unfortunately, like myself, sadly I haven't seen you live yet, what can people expect from a Sirenia live show?
Yeah, we try to present the songs live as much up to as they sound on the albums.
Yeah.
Just trying to make a good show. It's for us, for a Sirenia show, it's pretty much the music that is in the center, and of course trying to get that contact with the audience, and to present the music in the best possible way, and hoping that it will appeal to the audience in a good way.
Excellent. Now, how do you feel the sound of the band has evolved over the years?
Yeah, it has been changing a bit. We have been using different producers. We have been using different studios and so forth. That, of course, alone can tribute to changing and developing the sound, and also just the way our performances have developed, and how I compose the songs and everything. So I definitely think that, and also the technology, of course, is also improving year by year, so that obviously helps as well. So I think that really you can see how we've been developing, from the start, and with all our 7 albums now, I think the last one is sounding quite different than the first one, and there's a lot of different stuff in between there. So but I definitely think that our sound now is even bigger and more powerful than it was in the beginning.
So going for more sort of goth-influenced dramatic sound for more of an even better live show as well.
Yeah, I think that our music now has more energy. It's more powerful. In the beginning, it was more about seeking towards the melancholic, atmospheric stuff, a little bit more mid-tempo and laid back. Now we try to make it more dramatic, more bombastic, more powerful, more of that. And I think that's also material that works better in live occasions.
Yeah. Now, you came to the UK to play the Dames of Darkness Festival, I believe, this Sunday, where you're playing with bands such as Scarlet Riot and Leaves' Eyes. Do you have plans for a full UK tour in the future?
Not right now, but I hope there will be possibilities to play more shows in UK. We've actually only played in UK once before. That was in the London area some years ago, and so this will be our second show, and obviously that's not too much, so I hope that it will be possible to come back soon. It seems that our fan base is growing in the UK over the very last few years, so hopefully it will enable us to come back more often in the future.
Yeah, we hope you do as well. Now, obviously, you've been part of the goth metal scene for a fair while now, as you said, over the course of 7 albums now. What is your view on the state of the current goth metal scene, and where do you feel Sirenia themselves fit in?
I think the scene is really quite crowded these years, I'd say. I remember when I began playing this kind of music, which was in the mid-90s, then of course with a different band, but at this time there was just a very few bands playing, and it's been coming more and more bands over the years, and these days there's really a lot of bands, and it makes it even harder for bands to stick out, to sound different or to sound original or stuff like that. Sirenia was quite early, and we tried to keep our style, but at the same time improve ourselves and try to put out good productions to hopefully have something special to give to the listeners out there, in this huge sea of bands out there. It's hard to stick out these days, for sure.
Yeah, it did kind of explode around the 2000s when Nightwish started getting bigger, along with obviously Within Temptation then exploded as well. And you got all the other bands starting to do the same sort of style, and you must be looking at it going, oh, for Christ's sake, we've been doing this for a while. Now, you've moved back to Napalm Records after being on Nuclear Blast for your last 3 releases. Do you feel Napalm Records is a better fit for the band?
Yeah, we actually did 4 records on Nuclear Blast.
All right.
And with that 4th album, our contract was finished, and we had to negotiate new contracts, and there was several record companies that were interested in Sirenia. Yeah. But in the end, we thought that Napalm Records gave us the best terms, so it felt natural for us to start working with Napalm Records again at this point.
Excellent. Now, obviously, you're about to release a new album. What's the plans for the future of the band?
New album is coming right up, so now obviously we will try to, first of all, we're gonna do some summer festivals.
Yeah.
And then we'll look into the possibility of putting together a longer tour as well. First and foremost in Europe, but hopefully also in America. And so it's our focus will be now to start playing and promoting our new album and performing the new songs for the fans and stuff. And always, of course, I'm always spending time in my studio as well, composing new stuff, always coming up with new ideas. So
you have about 40 songs for the next album to choose from.
At this point, I'm not there, but I'm sure I have ideas for about 10 or 12 songs already. So it's
that's not bad considering you haven't even released the new album yet. So.
Yeah.
Now, talk about the new album. What goes into the writing of a Sirenia album?
Could you repeat that one, please?
Yeah, no problem. What goes into the writing of a Sirenia album?
It's just a lot of, playing around in the studio, really. Very often when I make music, in most cases it starts with a guitar riff, and then I just keep building on top of that and so on. But at times I force myself to put away the guitar and pick up a bass or a keyboard or something, just to get a new input and to come up with a different sound or different kind of riffing or different kind of ideas. So I switch around a lot between different instruments, and just as soon as I get a cool idea that I think has something in it, then I start working on it and building on layers with more instruments and trying to arrange it into a cool song.
Excellent. Now, finally, before you go, is there anything you would like to say to your fans listening tonight?
I would like to say cheers to our fans in the UK. We are looking forward to coming over this weekend and playing again, finally. And hoping for a lot more shows in the UK in the years to come.
Yeah, we hope to see you here, and next time you're here, hopefully I'll be able to make it to your show myself and maybe meet you in person. Ladies and gentlemen, Morten Veland, thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Sirenia's new album, 7th Life Path, will be released here on the 11th of May. I don't know if that's the same date for worldwide, but I know that's a date for the UK. Ladies and gentlemen, Morten Veland from Sirenia, thank you very much, and thank you for listening to the Psychosin project tonight. Good night, everyone.